Kosovo is a partially recognized state in the Balkans. The independence of this new country has been recognized by about half of the UN member states. Serbia still considers Kosovo its territory, but does not control it. Only the northern part of Kosovo has Serbian authority and is not subordinate to Pristina. But it is not a part of Serbia either. Today, 91% of the population of the entire territory of Kosovo is Albanian. For understanding why Kosovo became an independent and sovereign state, it is necessary to refer to the past. After the collapse of the Roman Empire, the Slavs came to the territory of modern Kosovo. Here they created the first known state, the Principality of Serbia. Since that time, Kosovo has become one of the most important centers of Serbian culture and church. These lands remained predominantly Serbian until the 17th century. Then, after the mass migration of Serbs to the Habsburg Empire, the Albanians came to Kosovo. As early as the 19th century, they constituted the majority of the population here. They were more actively integrated to the Ottoman society than the Serbs and embraced Islam. But despite their cooperation with the Turks, the Albanians dreamed of establishing their own state. In Kosovo, their national revival began associated with the activities of the Prizren League. This organization put forward a demand to the Ottoman government for autonomy to 4 vilayets with an Albanian population. But, after an unsuccessful rebellion, the organization was defeated, failing to achieve its goals. The beginning of the 20th century gave the Albanians a new chance to establish their own state. After 2 Balkan wars, Albania gained its independence, but the new country did not incorporate Kosovo and some other territories with the predominantly Albanian population. After World War I, the Serbs finally annexed Kosovo, and the country itself was united with other southern Slavs into the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. The Albanians of Kosovo were much different from the other inhabitants of Yugoslavia. They were not Slavs and practiced Islam. The Yugoslavia authorities artificially populated Kosovo with Serbs and Montenegrins and encouraged Albanians to immigrate to Turkey or Albania. World War II changed the situation to some extent. Kosovo was occupied by Italy, and already the Serbs were forced to leave the region. Instead, over 100,000 Albanians came here. Kosovo and its present borders was first formed in 1945. It became an autonomous province of Serbia, one of the republics of the new Socialist Yugoslavia. Relations between Albanians and Serbs deteriorated immediately. The Serbs held leading positions in the local government and ran factories and enterprises. Albanians were dissatisfied with Kosovo's status. They wanted to be an equal republic, not an autonomy. Some of them wanted unification with neighboring Albania. The adoption of Yugoslav's new constitution slightly improved the situation of Kosovo. The region was given a status of province, and its representative was given a seat on the presidency. But after the death of Tito, the longtime president of Yugoslavia, the situation in Kosovo became tense again. The influence of Albanian nationalism grew, and the idea of secession from Yugoslavia gained more and more people. Kosovo was a rather poor region. The GDP per capita was almost 4 times lower than the Yugoslav average. In 1981, there were mass protests by the Albanian population. These rallies were violently dispersed by the police, and 14 people were killed. The new Serbian president Milosevic decided to limit the rights of the autonomous province. Albanians were dismissed from the government positions, and Albanian language TV was closed. In response, Kosovo unilaterally declared its independence in 1991. The first president, Ibrahim Rugova, was elected. Authorities and ministries were established, working clandestinely. The president pursued a policy of nonviolent resistance, which maintained a fragile peace in the region. This situation persisted until the end of the 90s. It became clear that it would not be possible to achieve the declared goals in this way. The Kosovo Liberation Army, KLA, which sought not only the independence of the region, but also the eventual unification of all Albanian territories into one state, was gaining popularity among the population. At the beginning of 1998, clashes between the KLA rebels and the Yugoslav militia intensified. Their confrontation quickly escalated into fierce fighting. In March, one of the Albanian leaders, Adem Yashari, was killed. In addition to him, many civilians, mostly members of his family, were killed. The incident drew international attention and led to the imposition of sanctions against Yugoslavia. By mid-1998, the Serbs launched a full-scale offensive in Metohija and Drenica. They managed to inflict several significant defeats on the Albanians, but despite this, the KLA continued to grow in numbers. By the end of the year, their numbers exceeded 20,000 fighters. Increased escalation in Kosovo could have led to more casualties, so the UN passed the resolution obliging the parties to cease hostilities and begin negotiations. Under US and NATO pressure, the truce was signed. However, it lasted only a couple of months. The parties accused each other of violating the terms of the agreement, and the war was resumed. In January, there was a turning point in the conflict. There was a massacre by the Yugoslav army in the village of Racek, where 45 Albanian residents were killed. This event further increased the pressure on Yugoslavia from NATO. The Serbs were offered to withdraw their army from Kosovo and give Albanians broad autonomy. NATO-led peacekeepers were also expected to be deployed to maintain law and order. The possibility of a popular referendum on Kosovo's status after 3 years was also envisaged. Slobodan Milosevic did not agree to these proposals. Immediately after his refusal, NATO announced the start of the military operation. The UN did not explicitly support this action, but only 3 countries opposed it: Namibia, Russia, and China. The operation started on March 24th with missile strikes throughout Yugoslavia. Air defense facilities, military depots, and troop concentrations were destroyed. The Serbs were expected to surrender quickly, but their resistance lasted 78 days. At the end of June, Yugoslavia conceded defeat and withdrew from Kosovo. The NATO bombing killed about 2,500 people, more than half of them civilians. NATO troops entered Kosovo, and a local administration was organized under their protection. As a result of the war, the region was devastated. According to the UN, almost 900,000 Albanians and 200,000 non-Albanians, mostly Serbs, left Kosovo. The war did not put an end to the issue of Kosovo's status. UN-mediated negotiations between Kosovars and Serbs took a long time. The Albanian side insisted only on independence, while the Serbian side wanted at least formally to keep Kosovo within its borders. Negotiations went inconclusive, and already on February 17, 2008, the Parliament of Kosovo unilaterally declared independence.